Hello there everyone, Ashenflash here, and welcome on into a very interesting video talking about some new information about the cancelled LEGO Batman movie sequel. And this was going to happen, but of course they have since sold the movie rights to Universal Studios. But the director of the first film, and who was attached to direct the second movie, Chris McKay, has actually been dropping some information over the last few years. He was promoting another movie a couple years ago, and now he's promoting Renfield, the Dracula movie with Nicolas Cage, and this is really interesting stuff. It sort of reiterates a little bit of what we've talked about in two other videos. If you want to check them out, I'll link them, but this sort of summarizes it all. So let's go and read his quote here from a new interview. We had a really fun script with Dan Harmon and Michael Waldron. Just to let you know who those guys are really quick. It's the creators of Rick and Morty, Community, as well as the writer behind Loki. Anyways, they wrote a really fun kind of Super Friends. The sequel would have been a quasi Super Friends movie, and the structure was going to be sort of Godfather 2 kind of thing, with Batman and the Justice League facing a modern day problem, being Lex Luthor and OMAC, while at the same time flashing back to the reasons why Batman and the Justice League, and in particular Superman, have bad blood. He continued on to say it was going to explore Superman and Batman's relationship in a very different way than you've ever seen it portrayed, including Superman's alienation from humanity and how hard it is to truly be friends, real friends, for years. It was ultimately going to answer the question, how do you become super friends? And there was going to be a crossover with a major franchise that can only happen in a LEGO movie. So again, we've talked about all that before. The main villains, again, mentioned Lex and OMAC, but then the crossover was most likely going to be Marvel. I feel like the quote that he said from the other time was a little more directly talking about Marvel. He also in the past has talked about how Robin was going to be tied into the movie, and also specifically Lois Lane too. So I think that's interesting that, again, going back to that before, he had mentioned how Lois Lane was going to be involved, but then here it's talking about how Superman was going to be alienated from humanity. So I'm not really sure how that is going to work, but we know that multiple, I believe, LEGO movies are in development. I think with just the success that Universal's been having with Illumination and everything right now, with the Super Mario movie on track to maybe be the biggest animated opening of all time, I'm very intrigued to see what Universal has plans. I don't think they would have access to Batman specifically. Not sure if they have access to those characters. Again, we've talked about this before. I'll link that video as well. But I'm very interested to see more about this. I wonder if he's going to drop other tidbits on this press tour. I'll be sure to cover it if he does. But let me know your thoughts on this sequel that has been canceled. I'm very intrigued by it, and I hope that someday like the full script leaks, because 100% that can happen. That happens all the time for canceled movies. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Hope you all have a great day. I will see you all in the next one.